Offer extended. Offer not accepted. This is Nelson with Nelson Radio, and you're challenged by today's rush to real estate, all combined with a concern that by the time you find your dream home, higher rates will price you out of the market. I've got the answer. With my mortgage market exclusive lock and shop rate guarantee, you can freeze today's low interest rates, shop for your new home, all with a peace of mind that your rate is waiting for you at the finish line. Call or click 888-888-2136 or click through on strongcreditrewards.com.
This is Be a Beast on Nelson Radio. You chose to be here. This is not by accident that you're here now and in this program. You want to take your performance to the highest level. You want to dominate. You physically work hard. Now that's important. Mentally, we're going to prepare you to have the kind of success that's available to you. Not just for some, but for you to live it fully. You can do it too. Enjoy this journey. This program is your secret weapon. Be a Beast on Nelson Radio.
And this is Be a Beast on Angels Radio, AM 830. I'm Nelson, and I'm with Dave Austin, mental performance coach. You can reach out direct to us, and we want you calling to engage, especially at the beginning of 2014, this learning anchor system of Be a Beast that helps you stay on tack for achieving your goals, not just setting your goals and watching them get dusty, but actually making progress and having the kind of mind triggers in place so that when things come up, you have the capacity to push through those distractions. You'll be able to contact us direct, 888-888-2136. Click through at extremefocus.com, or simpler yet, text the word BEAST to 313131. And Dave, we've opened up the year with some unbelievable insights from some really world leaders. Bill Bartman, Nobel Peace Prize nominee, Greg Reid last week, and I think we're going to bring Greg back this week to talk about his insights as he's interviewed and studied some of the greatest leaders, innovators in the world.
Oh, tell the truth. We're really bringing him back because last week he mentioned that the 5 people you spend the most time with is the sum of who you are, and we just want to be around him more so we can be the sum of Greg Reid.
We got to invite ourselves to the party, exactly. You know, something I wanted to touch on here, and we're using these mind triggers that Roger and Anthony has developed as part of our Be a Beast training and this 12-step process, and one that resonated at the beginning of the year, Nobo, the flying fish. And you had shared going into Christmas how the flying fish and Walt Disney actually had something in common. And the bottom line message to that was Nobo, the nickname for the flying fish, no box, no friggin' boundaries, as Roger says. And it reminded me of, as I reflected back on 2013, and this will come across as the bragging dad, but I was sharing with you some of the things that my son had experienced. 19 years old, had gone around the world by himself from preaching to different churches in Malawi as he hiked through the rural areas of Malawi, to climbing Half Dome this summer, to leaping out of planes, to swimming with manatees, to spearfishing, to bring dinner home. How do you like that? and there's so many experiences. Running with the bulls in Pamplona that brought him the 2 bull hoof bruises on the back.
Now, you had me until you brought that one up.
Yeah. But you know, what I saw in that was testimony that somebody that is pursuing these life experiences and pursuing their vision without that no box, no friggin' boundaries kind of mindset, that they're going out there and doing it.
Yeah, and I love it, too. You said he's 19. And, you know, as Roger Anthony says, to say I'm thinking outside the box, that means that you believe there's a box. Mm-hmm. There is no freaking box. It's the Nobo thinking that the true champions are born. You know, and why do we use triggers? You know, we talk about triggers and we bring these animals. What's the importance of that? Well, you know that I work with so many NFL athletes, Major League Baseball players, Olympic athletes. Well, in that stadium, so to speak, you're under the gun, pressure hits, and when pressure hits, that's where you kind of tap into whatever your habits you have formed, maybe even at 2 years old. And that's why we sometimes just absolutely self-sabotage ourselves. So when you have a trigger that can move you right into the energy of your goal, then it takes care of that. That's what your subconscious just moves into, and it's a training process. Just as you learned how to hit backhands, and maybe not to the degree of how I hit backhands. Oh, I always have to throw in that. But anyway.
Well, and I think that's the foundation of our training in these mind triggers. What Roger also had coached us on as we went through the end of the year in terms of how we place ourselves in our own jail and we hold the key to release ourselves, but oftentimes simply don't. And I think that's so insightful because we're our own worst enemy in so many situations. And what Greg referenced last week was talking about how this inner circle of 5 are the influencers of who you are, what you can achieve, what you can experience in your own either marketplace or field of competition, boardroom or locker room. It doesn't make any difference. Performance is the bottom line, and having these mind triggers, like you were saying, set in place so that when we face an obstacle where something gets in the way, we can snap back into, oh, now hold on, that's not slowing me down. I'm still marching towards my end goal, that having that ultimate goal in mind, having the value of that goal front and center as we recognize how to push through, how to persevere.
Absolutely, and you can do it in a millisecond. We talk about these, what it means. Well, as you train yourself, it can happen right now. Like when I'm working with a major league hitter, it's being thrown at him at anywhere from 88 to 99 miles per hour, and he's got to be able to adjust in that moment. And believe it or not, your mind still has plenty of time to think and take you down. And so when you have a trigger that just puts you right there, boom, you're there and you're present. It's about staying present rather than worried about what just happened or what's going to happen. So that's why we decided to bring Greg back, too, because, he puts on these seminars. One is called Secret Knock. We're going to learn more about that because he brings some of the best minds in the world together, and he penetrates there so people can learn how to step into that. And the more you're around it, the more you become it. And many of you might be, at home and you have those naysayers telling you can't do this. You get really excited, and so whoever you're around says, well, you know what? You better think about either maybe that's not your best friend, even if it's your, a family member to hang around with, because to achieve anything, you need to be in the energy or the frequency of that.
And it's funny because in my own goal setting, the naysayers are almost my motivators. And I'm surrounded in my testimony with those individuals that say, no, you can't do that. Even with tennis, having played professional tennis, I wasn't introduced to the game until age 16, and just 6 years later then was walking onto the courts of Wimbledon. There wasn't anybody when I picked up the sport at 16 that said, hey, yeah, you're going to have your turn on the professional tour and experience Wimbledon. So it's an example of what we can do in achieving our goals. That's the foundation of Be a Beast. We want you to contact us. Here's what you do to get engaged. Dial 888-888-2136. Click through at extremefocus.com, or easier yet, text the word BEAST to 313131, and Dave and I will take the reins and coach you on how to be a beast. Greg Reid coming up.
Ducks Radio AM 830 KLAA.
Be a Beast on Nelson Radio spends a lot of time vetting out true professionals. Insurance Inc. is one of our best. Cutting premiums up to 40%. Insurance Inc. We want you to contact them direct. 888-888-2136. That's 888-888-2136. Or go to insuranceinc.com.
Protect your family's future with an AmeriState Living Trust. It doesn't take as much time or cost as you may think. If you own a home or have children, you need a living trust. With an AmeriState Living Trust, you can protect your family and have peace of mind. The experts at AmeriState Legal Plan have helped more than 35,000 families safeguard their future. Their services are half the cost of pricey law firms. Don't delay any longer. Call today, 888-888-2136, and get an additional $250 off. AmeriState Legal Plan. Looking forward, planning wisely.
Do you ever want a secret weapon? Be a Beast training video is your weapon. From the locker room to the boardroom, success is not by accident. Performance is not by chance. You want to get your mind right? Perform at the highest level? Dominate your marketplace? Be a Beast training video is the answer. Mentally, we're going to prepare you to have the kind of success that's available for you to live it fully. You can do it too. The Be a Beast training video is your secret weapon. 888-888-2136. Let me say that again. 888-888-2136. 2136 or text BEAST to 313131.
Angels Radio.
AM 830.
And that is Sarah Blaine as you're on Be a Beast on Nelson Radio. Sarah, one of the up-and-coming artists that's on her own path of pursuing her dreams as a very talented young artist. Dave, you've discovered her. You're bringing her to the market fabulously.
Well, she's blowing up, too, in a good way when I say blowing up. It's making, she's living her dream. I mean, what's happening in her life right now, she's prepared herself her whole life for this, though. And that's what's really fun to see is someone who's worked so hard to now really achieve it. Everything that she's been dreaming of for a long time. And
it's a great testimony to our Be a Beast training. We want you to engage on it. Here's what you need to do to get started. Call us. 888-888-2136. Click through to extremefocus.com, or simpler yet, simply text the word BEAST to 313131, and you can get started on this path of realizing dreams, not just setting goals, but realizing these dreams, having them become achievable and real.
And, what a perfect segue into our guest now. We had Greg Reid on last week, and such demand was, hey, we got to have him back.
Right.
We heard, I love listening to Greg. You talk about, exactly someone who pursues his dreams and is living his dreams. And I think that one of the keys, we didn't get a chance to last week, but I really want, Greg, first of all, welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you very much for having me back, and I look forward to our tennis whooping.
Oh, we're foaming at the mouth on that one. Boy, we're going to humble you, buddy. But it's all right. You'll recover.
I went through the kitchen cabinets, and I found a nice rusty frying pan I'm going to play with. I'm ready.
Hey, so we, in the first segment of the show, we're talking about, the people you surround you with, yourself with. You started that whole thing last week with us. And but you've before have mentioned something I really want our listeners to hear. That's counsel versus opinion. Can you elaborate on that? I mean, I think this is such an important point for our listeners right now.
Well, absolutely. In this segment, you're talking about where we get our input from, where we get our our knowledge from. And I interviewed the guy who founded string theory, how the entire universe is put together. And he said the greatest thing. He said successful people seek counsel where failures listen to opinion. And I went, wow, that's pretty powerful. I says, what's the difference? He goes, opinion is based on ignorance, lack of knowledge, inexperience. They just have never done it before. He goes, where counsel is based on wisdom, knowledge, mentorship, they've already paved the way. If you go to someone who's never written a book before and say, I'm going to write one, they might say, hey, you can't do that. And you go, why not? And they go, I don't know, you just can't. Well, that's their opinion because they've never done it. If I go to Mark Victor Hansen, who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul, and say, I'm going to write a book, he's going to say, great. But before you get started, here's what you need to know, and give me counsel based on wisdom, knowledge, and mentorship. John Schwartz, the creator of string theory, said if we would spend our daily lives only seeking counsel and ignoring people's opinions, that's the day your life would change.
And it's incredible because we live here right in the Southland, in the heart of, you'll probably agree with me, Greg, there's no shortage of opinion in Southern California, is there?
Amen. Amen. And there's no shortage from our family friends. And the realities are they're usually giving us input that's based on their knowledge or their experience. It doesn't mean that has to be our experience. So there's a big difference. So, for example, I might go golfing with some of my family friend members, but it doesn't mean I'm going to share with them my business dreams or goals or what have you because they can't understand. They can't relate to it. So I realized to get what you want, surround yourself with people who are getting those results. When I wanted to become a best-selling author, I went to Barnes & Noble, bought every best-selling book, and called them. They taught me, and here we are 50 books later. When I wanted to be a public speaker, I went to Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Dennis Whaley. I went to the top leaders and asked them to train me. If I wanted to learn tennis, I'm going to ask you guys about the backhand. The realities are we are a reflection of those people we surround ourselves with, and our actions will act accordingly.
So it makes perfect sense, and something that you shared with us a story, and I think this is so valuable for our listeners to hear about. Steve Wozniak, share that with us.
Yeah, Steve Wozniak. When I interviewed him, I asked him, I said, what made you and the other Steve so successful? And here's his response. He says, we embraced what we did not have. He goes, most people look at all what they don't have as an obstacle. We looked at it as an opportunity. I said, what do you mean? He says, when microchip processors came out, we could only afford one chip. He goes, so I had to take a Hewlett-Packard machine that would have 20 different chips and pull away 5, go to point A to point B and make it to work. I'd pull away another 5 chips and get it to work. So finally I could go from point A to point B with my one single chip. He goes, I wasn't trying to be cool or slick. He goes, I could afford one chip. He goes, but by embracing the lack, by embracing the opportunity of that's all we had, we found the shortest, cleanest way, and we changed the way that personal computing will be done for the rest of our generation. So many people always look at all the challenges of what they don't have rather than embracing the opportunities of which they do.
I love that example. I many times, Greg, with professional athletes, I'll have them put on their left side their limitations and the right side the potential line next to it. And if they focus to the right side of the sheet, man, the success rate just, because then they're focused on what they want to grow and starve what they want to, let die. And it's not like you forget or hide your weaknesses, but when you focus on your strength, in that situation, that helps bring your limitations or those things that appear to be obstacles up into that realm. I mean, that's a great example that you gave us about Steve.
And Greg, I want to thank you for I know this time flies by, but that's great insight and great counsel. You'll be able to find out more on Greg Reid, on Be a Beast, and our platform of performance coaching, mental performance coaching at extremefocus.com. Easier yet, call us. We'll answer the phone, 888-888-2136, or if you're not driving, text the word BEAST to 313131, and we'll get you on the path to be a beast. Roger Anthony coming up.
Angels Radio.
AM 830.
If something happened to you, would you want the government deciding who takes care of your kids or who will inherit your assets? Do you want your children paying thousands of dollars in legal fees to probate attorneys? Don't let your family fall victim to probate or online estate planning. Nelson Radio recommends taking action now with their trusted friends at OC Wills and Trust Attorneys. Not only do their experienced attorneys create a comprehensive estate plan for you, but unlike those other internet sites that are not law firms, they provide you expert legal advice to make sure your plan is designed for your specific situation. The most important people in your life deserve an estate plan done right. Call today for a free consultation. 949-424-5292. That's 949-424-5292. Professional legal direction to protect your family. Call OC Wills and Trust's attorney at 949-424-5292 or text OC Wills to 313131.
Do you ever want a secret weapon? Be a Beast training video is your weapon. From the locker room to the boardroom, success is not by accident. Performance is not by chance. You want to get your mind right? Perform at the highest level? Dominate your marketplace? Be a Beast training video is the answer. Mentally, we're going to prepare you to have the kind of success that's available for you to live it fully. You can do it too. The Be a Beast training video is your secret weapon. 888-888-2136. Let me say that again. 888-888-2136 or text BEAST to 313131.
Ducks Radio AM 830 KLAA.
And this is Be a Beast on Angels Radio AM 830 with Dave Austin, mental performance coach, and myself, Nelson. Reaching out to us is how you can engage in this training system, this learning anchor system, and bottom line, Be a Beast by calling direct. 888-888-2136, texting the word BEAST to 3131. That's so easy. I like that the best. You don't have to think about anything. Text the word BEAST to 313131 or click through at extremefocus.com. And like Greg Reid said, the journey is not the perception of what so many people have. Coming off the bowl championship game and everybody, that winning touchdown and the hoisting of the trophy at the end of the game, and there's that vision of, I would love to be that person. And there's not the realization of the weeks and months and years of training and pain and endurance and overcoming obstacles and distractions that have hit for that athlete to be in that position.
It's all about the preparation. That's really what leads to it. And in that preparation, there's got to be a major value put on every step of the way so that you actually take on that work and turn it into your biggest pleasure. So that by the time you get to the championship game, that's just another day at the office. You've already been winning championships every day to get you to the championship. And so this is that time of the show where we go back to the bush and we bring out Roger Anthony, who always does such an incredible job of anchoring what we've talked about on this show. And, last week, Roger, you talked about deputus and about goal setting and setting timelines and the purpose. And it leads perfectly into what you want to bring to us today, the Canadian Goose. People are hanging on. Wait, what is the Canadian Goose? How's that going to relate to everything we're talking about? This and you call that goose Valdapa. So they're waiting breathlessly to know how this is going to tie them into having that dream of theirs, through what you just said about sticking through, what a big part of what Greg Reid talked about. So Roger, bring it to us.
Yep. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Nelson and listeners. The Canadian Goose, with the limited time we've got, I'll just cut it short. The reason we chose the Canadian Goose is that they're a great example of working together towards a common goal, or even working individually towards the achievement of a personal goal. The greatest thing that a Canadian goose in their habitat expresses by way of teaching principle to us as human beings is the importance of placing a high value on that which you wish to achieve. So when you go to set a goal, the VAL in Valdapa is what value is it to you? Look into the future. Visualize how your world will be once you have achieved the goal. Don't look at it as though you're going to achieve it, but see it already achieved. That is the value that you place on it. The reason value is so important in motivating a human being to stay on task and to never give up is that it increases your desire. So the higher the value, the higher the desire to achieve. And it's the desire that is the consistent driving force towards the achievement of any goal. When we lose the desire, say goodbye to the goal. It never works. And so first make sure that you've got the value right. Is it right for you? Is this what part of your life is all about? And make sure that you visualize that value very clearly. What it means to you, what it means to your family, associates, friends, etc. Then the desire becomes incredibly powerful. That desire gives you the P in Valdapa, which is the power or motivating force to get up every time you get knocked down, and do not let anything stop you from going forward with tremendous white heat intensity so that you never, ever give up. And, of course, the actual A in Valdapa is you will achieve. In fact, you've already achieved as long as you maintain that value and desire that work together towards driving a human being forward and never giving up towards the achievement of their goals.
That's Roger Anthony, the author of our Learning Anchor System with Be a Beast. And David, so insightful. And this is something that I've grown to change in my own goal setting, my own mission, vision, and goals, is seeing them as today, not a future event, that they've happened.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's where people lose their course, is they forget their value. I mean, or their desire. They get caught up in just the trying to do it rather than seeing it, already knowing it's existing, and in that energy of it, so that as you go through those challenging times, there's a strength beyond your own strength that's carrying you through.
And it's so, the example like we have in the boardroom, let's say that executive presentation and the board of directors needing to validate and approve whatever presentation. It's no different than being on the field. The presenter has seen that affirmation. They've seen that confirmation already before they even started the presentation.
Absolutely. That's it. And Valdapa is a great word to just trigger you right into that. Roger, you want to, one of the reasons you chose the Canadian Geese is the way they all work together too.
Absolutely, a great example of working together in cooperation and community. They're just phenomenal. So just think about it, and I'll just end with this. One of the Canadian Goose, as they're in flight, one of them may drop out of formation because it's sick. At least two will leave the formation and go down and sit with it until it's well enough to fly back up and join the formation again. Just phenomenal teammates, and a great example of reaching out in the spirit of cooperation and community.
And it's such a perfect segue of how we end our shows with Operation Homefront, which is awarding our military veterans, our service people, our wounded warriors coming back from these military conflicts with a home to live in. They're responsible for taxes, insurance, and maintenance on the home for a year to a year and a half. And at the end of this, get this, that home is awarded to that family free and clear as a gesture of thanks. It's a perfect segue in terms of community. And this is where we talk about, Dave, whether it's in the boardroom, in the locker room, in the service, military service, this community. It isn't a it's up to me if it's going to be kind of mindset. There is this community behind it that's so powerful in achieving our goals. And this is what we want you to focus on and be a part of with our Be a Beast training. Find out more. Call us direct, 888-2136. Click through at extremefocus.com, or easier yet, not when you're driving, text the word BEAST to 313131, and we'll have this 12-step process to train up our goal setting and our mental performance in all of these venues.
Well, it just helps you stay in it. We all need that guidance, to stay strong in it. And that's what it's all about.
And we're here to coach you with that on Be a Beast on Nelson Radio. Offer extended. Offer not accepted. This is Nelson with Nelson Radio, and you're challenged by today's rush to real estate, all combined with a concern that by the time you find your dream home, higher rates will price you out of the market. I've got the answer. With my Mortgage Market exclusive lock and shop rate guarantee, you can freeze today's low interest rates, shop for your new home, all with a peace of mind that your rate is waiting for you at the finish line. Call or click 888-888-2136 or click through on strongcreditrewards.com.